if you're all wondering at the tongue twister of a name, Hasarudala, in Kannada it means the green force, a name chosen by the waste pickers, a community that we decided to work with. For all of us have seen waste pickers, right? People who pick up waste from the streets, from the landfills, sort it, sell it, and earn their livelihood for the day, right? They happen to be the most marginalized urban poor in any city. They tend to be Dalits or Muslims. Even in a Dalit community, they are in the periphery. They cannot even have water from the same tap, right? So they're the most marginalized, but they do a great service for us. They are the reason why India's recycling rates are among the highest in the world, right? Just PET bottles, the bottles that we unfortunately have on our tables, are recycled up to 90% in this country, mostly thanks to waste pickers in the informal sector. So anyway, we started Hasarudala in 2013 as a not-for-profit, focused on what we call social justice for waste pickers. What is social justice? Identity rights. Most of them do not have a document zero, which is a birth certificate, any government-issued ID card. So the first thing we did in Bangalore was to get the municipal corporation to give occupational ID cards to waste pickers. For the first time in the world, the card actually says that when she picks up waste from the street, the property rights transfer to her, so she is no longer a thief, right? And today, more than 20,000 waste pickers in Karnataka have got these ID cards thanks to Hasarudala. We didn't stop there, we actually took it in terms of policy advocacy right up to the central government, and it's now part of the MSW rules 2016 that every urban local body should give ID cards to waste pickers. This small thing ensured that they now have a PAN card, a bank account, access to social security benefits, and so on, right? So one is identity rights, the second is education for the children. Today, we have more than 28,000 waste picker families in Karnataka who have taken an oath that all their children will go to school at least till 10th standard, so that they have an option other than waste picking. Today, we have more than 10 engineers among waste pickers' children, 3 of them actually aspiring to be IAS officers. Healthcare for the family. We have, during COVID, we have been able to get more than 98% of waste pickers in slums vaccinated at least once and 92% at least twice, right? These are interventions that are required through philanthropic capital, right? Because you cannot turn this into a business model. So that's why the not-for-profit and social justice, healthcare, housing. Now we are experimenting with housing for waste pickers. We are doing a lot of policy advocacy at the different levels of government. But one of the things waste pickers asked us was, all this is great, we need it, but can you give us jobs? Can you give us predictable incomes? Because when you pick waste, you don't know whether you earn 100 rupees a day or 200 or nothing at all. Right? It depends on the value of the waste that you are able to pick up from that day. So that's how we started Hasarudala Innovations, a company, private limited company, in 2015, and created business models that created access to markets and opportunities for waste pickers. Today, we have 24 waste picker entrepreneurs who owned trucks. The first entrepreneur, Loksar, always like to tell the story. He started off with us in tattered clothes, a truck that would break down every 2 kilometers. Today he owns 4 trucks. He's credit worthy enough to get a loan for a scooter. He employs 30 people. He files IT returns every year, and he's now paying GST. So this is a matter of 6 years. So all that was required was to empathize with what they need, to create access to markets and opportunities that they could not do by themselves. As a company, we run it like any other company, like all of you run. Right? Financial viability is a must. A social entrepreneur does not get a get out of jail free card. He has to run his business like any other business. The only thing that we have added on is that we have a social purpose, right? And that's all we have done. Today, for example, in our plastics aggregation business, one of the world's largest apparel manufacturers is buying plastic waste from us, and from this season onwards, every button, more than 2 million buttons that go into their clothes manufactured in India will be from waste picked by our waste pickers. And they're paying a premium for it, and they're calling it social plastic. Right? Again, create an opportunity, that's all you need to do. Losford did all the hard work. We did not do anything, in my opinion. Right? It was all his hard work, but all he needed was the opportunity, the respect, and the dignity as a human being. That's all he needed to get to where he is. A lot of people ask me, you're a typical middle class kid, IT services, then a professor, why did you get into this? The story is, when I was a trustee at the not-for-profit, Annamma, who was a back-carrying waste picker, street-stomping waste picker, came into the trust's office one day, along with her 3 daughters. I knew her as that. She could hardly earn enough to feed her family. Her house would get flooded every time there's a little rain. Right? Her youngest daughter walked up to me with an invitation written in English and inviting us for the Griha Pravesham of their new home. This was in 4 years of giving her an opportunity to be an entrepreneur. Right? And that was when I decided this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Because if we can bring that change in quality of life within a few years in her lifetime and now my lifetime, that's what I want to do. So that's my journey, that's what we do. And today, we are the only waste management company in India to have a World Fair Trade Organization Fair Trade Guarantee. That means that all waste that goes through our company is as per fair trade principles. We are the only waste picker organization that has got a Karnataka State Environmental Law. So it is possible to be social but successful by all parameters of business. So that's my submission to you, those of you who are looking to do beyond what you're doing. It is possible. I started at the age of 55. So you can be a late stage entrepreneur and still do a lot of impact in life. So anyway, thank you for the opportunity.